Hello everyone. This video will focus on the chapter Reproduction in Organism, which is in class 12th CBSE syllabus. And this video will focus on part 1 or the introduction part, and then we will progress to the different parts. And generally, there are a couple of questions from this whole chapter, and we'll discuss what kind of questions are there as we progress through different parts. So lifespan. What is lifespan? As it sounds, it is that easy. Lifespan of an organism is defined as the time period between birth to natural death. Let's say a person is born in year 2000 and that person dies in year 2090. So what is the lifespan? 2090 minus 2000, that is 90 years. Very simple, It is the time period between birth to the natural death. The lifespan of organism varies from one organism to another organism. For example, human beings have a lifespan between 80 to 100 years. However, on the other hand, a dog has a lifespan of 10 to 13 years. So every organism has a different lifespan. So the lifespan of an organism has 4 stages. The first stage is called as juvenility. The organism develops the capacity to reproduce during this stage. And how will an organism develop this capacity? Because during this stage of juvenility, the reproductive organs are, maturing. They are growing during this juvenility stage. So the organism develops the capacity to reproduce. The next stage is maturity. The organism begins to reproduce at its stage. So during the juvenility stage, the organism develops the capacity to reproduce because the reproductive organs are, maturing and they are finally matured. And then in the maturity phase, they begin to reproduce, because now they have fully developed reproductive organs. The next is the aging or senescence. Aging refers to gradual deterioration of body functions marked by inefficient cellular functions and response to the environment. So, when you are born, you are a baby, then you become a child, and then you become a teenage, adolescent, adult, and then ultimately you grow old. So, this whole process is aging. And this refers to the gradual deterioration of body functions, which is marked by inefficient cellular functions. Cellular functions become inefficient and aging takes place. So what is senescence? Senescence refers again to gradual deterioration, just like aging, of all biological functions in the body. But there is a difference between senescence and aging. Senescence is marked by shortening of telomeres and loss of replicative capacity. So what are telomeres? As you might remember, the DNA molecule is a double helix structure, and the end of the DNA, there are these single stranded regions that are called as telomeres, and they are not replicated. So when a DNA molecule is replicated, these ends are not replicated, and as a result of which the DNA molecule in the next cycle is a bit shorter, than the previous cycle. And this, keeps on continuing, like the DNA molecule keeps on becoming smaller and smaller. And, at certain stage, after X number of cycles, the DNA molecule becomes very small. And when that happens, the DNA molecule does not replicate further. If the DNA molecule does not replicate further, what happens? Cell death, the cell dies. So senescence refers to the gradual deterioration of all biological functions in the body, that is marked by shortening of telomeres and loss of replicative capacity. So aging and senescence are quite like similar confusing terms, but the major difference that you have understood now probably is that aging is marked by inefficient cellular functions and senescence is marked by shortening of the telomeres. And the final stage, it is death. It is marked by permanent cessation of all vital activities of an organism, and as a result of which the organism dies. So there is one thing, here you see various organisms like various plants, various animals, and you see the average lifespan of all these animals. So one thing you need to know is there is no correlation between lifespan of the organism and their sizes. So one can say, okay, human beings live for 80 to 100 years because they have we are huge in size. However, dogs, generally the small ones, they live for 10 to 13 years because they are smaller. No, this is not the case. There is no correlation because if you look here, at the crow and the parrot, they are quite similar in size. But if you look at parrot, it lives for almost 140 years, a lot of years it lives. However, a crow just lives for 15 years, very less years, So there is no relation between the size and the lifespan, there is no relationship. So reproduction. Reproduction is the process by which all living organisms give rise to new organisms similar to themselves, So your grandparents gave rise to your parents that were similar to them. Then your parents gave rise to you. You will give rise to your kids. So this is the whole process, Reproduction is the process by which all living organisms give rise to new organisms similar to themselves. So the offsprings grow, mature, and in turn produce new offspring, So your grandparents, they first grew, then they matured, their reproductive organs also matured, and in turn they produced your parents, and your parents produced you. Tomorrow you will grow up and produce your own kids. So therefore there is this cycle of birth, growth and death, it keeps on continuing. It's a cycle. So from one organism to another, it keeps on continuing. So there are four basic processes of reproduction. The first one is DNA replication. We all know that the DNA molecule is there and then it replicates, so as to divide. Following DNA replication is always cell division, that is one cell divides into two cells. Then there is formation of the reproductive units, which is very important. And since once the reproductive units are formed, there is development of new individuals. Types of reproduction. There are two types of reproduction majorly, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So what is asexual reproduction? In this, new individual is produced without the union of gametes or transfer of genetic material. So there is no transfer of genetic material, there is no fusion of gametes, and therefore only a single parent is involved, So one parent will give rise to offsprings. There is no fusion of gametes and only there is a single parent involved. However, in case of sexual reproduction, there is a union of male and female gametes taking place, forming the first cell of new individual. So, for a male and female in humans, what are the gametes? For male, the gametes are sperms, and for female, it is ova, And when there is fusion of these two, there is a cell formed that is called a zygote, which develops into the embryo and then, which develops into a baby after 9 months. So there is union of the sperms and ovum, the male and female gamete, forming the first cell of new individual, the zygote. Hence, two parents of opposite sex are required in this process. So it is very important to understand the major differences, that in asexual reproduction there is only a single parent because there is no fusion of gametes. However, in sexual reproduction there is fusion of gametes and hence two parents of opposite sex are there. So now we talk about the importance of reproduction. Why is reproduction so important? So it helps in the formation of next generation. Similar organisms are produced by reproduction and reproduction carries forward the generation. But again, the same example, your grandparents gave birth to your parents, the parents to you. So, there is this similar organisms that are formed generation after generation. Maintaining fixed number of chromosomes. So, during meiosis, at the time of formation of gametes, the number of chromosomes is reduced to half, So we all know that, let's take the example of human beings, that all the cells have 23 pair of chromosomes, which is equal to like 46 chromosomes. However, in the gametes, when the gametes are formed, and which are the gametes? The gametes are sperms and ova. And how many chromosomes do sperms and ova have? So each of sperms and ova are haploid, So instead of the normal 46 chromosomes, sperm has 20 chromosome and 23 chromosome, and ova also has 23 chromosomes. So during sexual reproduction, these haploid gametes fuse to form diploid zygote. So the 23 chromosomes from sperms and 23 from ova will fuse together to form 46 chromosomes of the zygote, which then develops into the individual. Like zygote will develop to embryo, and this will give to a new individual. Hence, the number of chromosomes for a given species is maintained. The next one is introduction of variation. Genetic recombination leads to variations, So when there is reproduction, there is genetic recombination, which is another topic that you must have done in the genetics chapter, and it leads to variations. So these are the importance of reproduction. Thank you for watching the video.